Hello everyone. Hope everyone is having a great day. This is going to be my first bias update video where I will be going over what I perceive the market to currently be doing and what I'm speculating to see the market do in the future. Keep in mind that nobody is able to accurately predict how any market will move 100% of the time, and I am no exception. And always remember that past performance is not indicative of future results. And so now to get started, I'll be starting from the weekly chart and moving down to the lower time frames to give you all an idea as to how I build my bias. Okay, so on this weekly chart, we can clearly see that the price of gold has steadily been moving upwards. Then, after moving upwards, there was a retracement that left us with relative equal lows. As you can see here, this is a level in price where I would expect price to want to return to in order to collect the liquidity that has accumulated. You can see the price level on the chart here as 1670.75. Okay. And now if we look at what price did after creating these relative equal lows, we can see that the price continued upwards to create relative equal highs, giving us another price level to look at, which is 2075.11. I see these liquidity levels as magnets to price, and so they act as my long-term price targets. So until the price of gold breaks 2075.11 or we break market structure, I'll be expecting gold to reach this level. An example of us breaking market structure would be for like us going below this low right here around that 1800 level. Then I'd be looking at a different type of bias. But as for now, I have 2075.11 as my long-term objective, and that is what I'll be playing for. So now, moving down from the weekly chart to the daily chart, we will attempt to form bias on how price would like to move throughout the week. Before breaking those relative equal lows, we could see that the price was steadily trailing downwards, and we can see that price is creating lower highs and lower lows. And after we went to the first price level we outlined, which was 1670.75, and liquidity was taken, we saw what we call a shift in market structure. Okay. Which instead of continuing down and creating a lower high and a lower low, we created a higher high and a higher low. Once this happens, I would be expecting higher prices, which we did get, as well as another higher high and a higher low, and what seems to be a higher high forming right before our target. This is where I can begin to speculate on what price would like to do. So, looking at the information we have now, I'd want to see price create another higher low before continuing the move that gives us a higher high, which looks like it would reach our objective of 2075.11. And so now I can speculate on price objectives for the retracement using the framework of this previous high, being the higher high, and building a dealing range using it, putting our long-term objective at 1862.67, the optimal trade entry for this dealing range. Keep in mind that 1925.63 is also a potential target, but I would be looking more at 1862.67. Reason being that our optimal trade entry aligns with a daily fair value gap, where we would expect to see price fill the gap in price and then continue to move upwards, keeping in mind that the gap does not have to be filled completely. And now we have the hourly chart, which shows us that we are in an area of consolidation. Price, as you can see, is just moving sideways. And since the higher time frame bias has me looking for lower prices, I would be looking to short gold. So if we draw out the levels that we would have liquidity accumulating, this is what I see. And if I draw out my dealing range on the 1 hour, I get optimal trade entry at 2029.40. And then we also have a 1 hour bearish fair value gap right at optimal trade entry. So I would be looking for short entries at this level. And this concludes my bias for gold. Of course, different events and news can sway price heavily, so the price levels I've outlined may be invalidated, and if structure shifts bearish on the higher time frames, my bias would switch as well. I'll be doing updates on the lower time frames coming forth to keep everyone tuned in, up to date with my bias. If you guys have any questions, please leave a comment below and I'll answer it as soon as possible. And if you'd like to show me some support, you can leave a like on the video and subscribe.